here's a neatly designed KitchenAid, a compact double boiler. With the protective water jacket, burning food is nearly impossible, as hard as the little woman may try.
There we go. Enough of these health checks.
We passed.
What's up, everybody? This is Tech is Bad. My name is Peter Paris, and I'm joined with Ed Hughes.
Hello. It's me.
We are giving you the news that your favorite companies are very, very bad. Ed, what's going on, man?
Bad, man. It's been a wacky week. Let me tell you, a wacky week.
How so?
I just read. Let me tell you. What am I saying? I literally just read a story that Kmart has come under a cyber attack. What the hell?
Who's attacking?
Who's coming
There's
after
still Kmart?
That's what everyone's saying. They're like, wait, did they go back in time and attack
Did they go
Kmart?
back in time to 2002?
Like what? Like, yeah. So someone just, they did a ransomware thing. They got a bunch of data and they're like, all right, give us money. And Kmart's like, bro,
bro, we're Kmart.
Like, look at me.
You have more money than us. Like, we're Kmart, dog. Chill out.
It's sad. Used to be a household name for some.
Yeah.
Not so much for me.
I remember.
Guess, like,
I'm super old to remember when Rosie O'Donnell used to do the Kmart commercials.
Oh shit, Rosie.
But yeah, before Rosie O'Donnell was like, I don't know what she is now, and like crazy hiding. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know what happened to her.
She was on The View last time I checked. Occasionally.
Yeah, but that was like, wasn't that like a decade ago?
I don't watch The View, Peter. I don't know. Yeah. I just know things.
Neither do I.
Pull them out of the air. I can bullshit though, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like everyone on The View can do that too. That's probably what they do the best. Oh,
shots fired at The View.
Pa 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 pa.
Ladies,
take that.
Hey, what are we doing? We're asking.
We're vibing, dog.
Okay, we're vibing. Yes, we'll say we're vibing.
Vibe. So, the reason why I took so long recording today was this was something that can make it on the podcast. I want to inform everyone: do not buy the Universal Toshiba remote from Amazon from some unnamed Chinese company, CT-N0325. I'm putting it in the camera here. I assume it works. I would have no idea of knowing because it requires AA batteries, which they do not tell you when you're purchasing it. And if I'm going to buy a $9 remote from Amazon, that defeats the purpose. Now I'm going to have to go to Walmart and get like $10 Duracell batteries or something. AA batteries are extremely expensive. Who uses AA batteries anymore? First off, like, dude, it's 2020. Like, let's get on the same page.
Yeah. Just give us
I tried
a rechargeable remote or something.
Yeah. Look, I understand it's $9. I wasn't looking for anything crazy, but at least give me AAA batteries. If anything, I could just snag a battery from another remote control and like pop it in here for 2 seconds. Like, just use AAA like every other remote control does. Like, come on.
You're just trying to get a remote for your TV. I understand. So you can sit on the couch and be on your phone at the same time while you're flipping through channels in the remote in the other hand, it's the American dream.
That is the American dream, but I had altruistic motives. I wasn't going to sit around and be a couch potato with this. The display I use for the Tech is Bad logo on this brand new crystal clear sparkling 4K television.
Humble
I didn't
brag.
Have just a little humble brag. Actually, not even humble, just a brag.
Not humble at all.
Well, what did I do? I spoke this into existence.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, every time we start talking the shit, they're listening. People.
I don't want people to see how the sausage is made. But yeah, so this new TV, well, this is a perfect example. Ed, you can't see it right now. Little inside baseball. We don't see each other currently while recording. But this TV screen, the brightness is too high for the logo. Like the contrast is too high. And I lost the original factory remote. And the only way to turn down the contrast is with that remote. So like the photo isn't all blown out on the video recording.
There's got to be something. There's got to be a way to get in there and
Nope.
mess
I
with the
tried.
settings.
Dude, you think you could try? Like, the only way into those settings is with the universal remote. I have a Fire Stick, so I usually just use that 100% of the time.
Right, sure.
It is a Google Cast TV, so I tried getting in through Google somehow, like through the Chromecast app. And I can only control volume. It has no internal whatever. And the TV, since it's like all these new flat screens, there's no menu button, like physical button on the TV. So I'm just assed out.
That's so bizarre.
Yep. I thought I found the solution, but I'm going to say it again, CT90325. Don't use AA batteries. Use a modern freaking remote. I just threw it.
Yeah, good. They deserve it. I hope they felt it. Right in the tuchus.
Somewhere in Hong Kong, someone just felt that. They felt a disturbance in the force. I don't know if that was racist. I don't think so.
Their honor was hurt.
That was racist. Yeah. That's Japanese culture.
No. Hold on. Everyone's got honor, right? Right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. That was a nice save.
Woo! We're just gonna dip under that. Moving on. Yeah. Yes, I know. It's those little inconveniences, these little things that, like, oh, surely there must be a way for me to, like, just because I don't have the original remote, I should be able to, like, go into the settings. Like, maybe there's buttons on the TV I can press, but, like, it's those little inconveniences that make us question ourselves and make us feel dumber and just, like, helps tech feel superior, Yeah.
No, actually, it makes me lose faith in humanity because I realize if some big conglomerate can't figure out the simplest of shit, this is all futile. Like, we're all just like spinning around in chaos. If like the extremely 1% of like billionaires and magnates of industry are also stupid, this is just chaos.
What are we doing?
None of this matters. We're all gonna die, and life isn't fair. So that's what it makes me feel.
That too. I get that feeling. And speaking of losing faith in humanity, can I tell you something?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Another thing bad that happened this week. We were talking last week about Apple. They were lobbying against the Uyghur forced labor bill that was trying to, like, stop the forced labor of the Uyghur people in China. Uyghur people, of course, it's a big sect of Muslims in China, and China's essentially trying to erase them from existence. But so
I didn't know about the ethnicity.
That's the thing. I have this whole So along with Apple, companies like Nike and Coca-Cola are also joining Apple in lobbying against the bill.
Oh, come on.
So, sons of bitches. I can't even get a pair of Dunks now without feeling a deep guilt in my stomach.
Dude, come on. Didn't Nike say they were going to actually, no, I'm not going to believe them, but I mean, those are definitely the companies you would see championing something like this.
They're just like, they're just trying to protect, like, their business model, and it's gross. It's truly despicable. Come on, guys.
And I just Googled Uyghurs, and they look super cool, man. They have badass hats. They're mainly... Yeah, look at these hats, bro. They're super warm. It's like a George Costanza hat. They're mainly from, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation again, but I think it's Xinjiang, China. Xinjiang.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. We'll go with that. Kazakhstan, Turkey, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. And they can also be found in Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Australia, Sweden, Pakistan, and Russia.
Oh. Yep, that's what they're doing.
Well, they're everywhere. They're basically everywhere. There's just a small amount of them that are scattered everywhere.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Exactly. And this is. I'll read this little bit I have here that I made sure to put in my notes, and then we won't talk about it.
You all prepared.
It's a big issue. I try. Okay. So China has attempted to cement state power over millions of Muslim citizens in Xinjiang. Yes, mostly Uyghur Muslims, along with Kazakhs and other minorities. The ruling Communist Party has placed Uyghurs in so-called re-education camps that attempt to erase their attachment to Islam, and has also embarked on a campaign of forced sterilization of Uyghur women. So,
whoa,
it's a bunch of bad. Okay,
wait, what?
It's a bunch of bad. Yeah,
I think I'm going to regret asking this question, but how do you force sterilize a woman? Do you? You know, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. How about that?
We'll let the audience do. We'll do our own independent research. Let the audience look it up. I'm just gonna put that out there. But that's not. That's tech could be involved, but that's not what we're talking about.
I know, but I would say that counts. It's very naughty.
It's naughty. It's bad. It's beyond bad. It's
I mean, it's honestly evil, not naughty, but
evil
whatever
is a good word for it. Yeah, for sure. But good news. I have a little good news. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't know if you saw FCC Chairman Ajit Pai going away, stepping down.
I did see that
as of January 20th.
I was so psyched. And the thing is, in his not resignation letter, his statement or whatever, he still didn't mention, how he just eroded like internet, like the actual openness of the internet. Didn't mention it. He stated, he was just like, the internet landscape is much stronger now than it was in 2014. It's like, dude, just shut up and take the money that all these CEOs gave you and just shut up.
I don't know, like if he...
And he's also ugly. Like, I just hate, he has a punchable face.
He has a very punchable face. I was going to say that.
He's fucking ugly.
Like Colin Jost, his book is named A Very Punchable Face. And I'm like, speaking of punchable faces, Ajit Pai has an exceptionally punchable face.
Fuck you, Ajit Pai. Fuck you.
He sucks, man. I don't know if he knows what he did to net neutrality, like he knows he's doing bad, or if he thinks he is doing.
No, he knows it. He was on the board for Comcast or like one of these. Like,
sure.
He used to work for a major ISP, and then he became chairman of the FCC. It's like he's obviously getting paid out by these people. Like, it's so, like, dude, how is this person not arrested?
So he knows. He knows what he's doing. He's just trying to get his money, and unfortunately, I mean, that's where he's probably going to go back to. That's what they're saying, that he's going to go back to just doing what he was doing before he was the FCC chairman, just lobbying for, against net neutrality. But for now, I think we can revel a little bit in like just knowing that he's stepping down. Like he's not going to be a part of the new administration for sure.
All right.
That's watch these cringy YouTube videos anymore.
That's a good point. I'm glad. We'll see what the new administration. Let's see how they handle this. But I did want to dip back into Google for a bit.
Oh, please.
Because they illegally spied on workers before firing them. A U.S. Labor Board alleges.
What?
Let me send you that link here. Yeah, so it turns out the company that used to be, the happiest company on earth, they're doing some messed up stuff, brah. Let me pull it up here.
Bro. They got I know. Logo that's easy on the eyes.
So dope.
Except for their new icons.
Oh yeah, those icons. Well, it just not new icons, new icon. It's literally just the same icon on all their apps.
It's so true.
Anyway, Google violated U.S. labor laws by spying on workers who were organizing employee protests, then firing two of them, according to a complaint filed by the National Labor Relations Board, the NLRB. The complaint names two employees, Lawrence Berland and Catherine Spires, both of them who were fired by the company in late 2019 in connection with employee activism. So it's saying Berland... basically, making a long story short, Google started working with a consulting firm, IRI Consultants. They're widely known for its anti-union efforts. So what it was Berland, what they did was, Spires, what she did was she created a pop-up for Google employees visiting the IRI Consultants website. And the pop-up had information on the consulting firm and what they do. Googlers have the right to participate in protected concerted activities, the notification read. Now, the company said Spires had violated their security policies, a statement that hurt her reputation in the tech community. And the NLRB has found the firing to be unlawful because, per law, all workers should have the right to not unionize, but what's the word they used?
Like stick up for each other, or like talk about work with each
No,
other.
there's a specific word. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see. It's actually in the article. Whatever. But the law states that you should not be stopping workers from colonizing or speaking of the company. You shouldn't stop workers from getting together.
Nah.
Actually, no. Let me actually find the right term. We are professionals here.
Google, you got this. You got this. Oh my God, this is just—it's getting me fired up. Why'd they do this? Like to their own people, and then like you know, you're gonna find out. You hire these internal investigator, like this consulting company to come in. Would you find it?
I found it.
Okay.
Worker organizing. Worker organizing is protected by law. Workers should be able to organize in whichever manner or fashion they so please. Because Google had like, it's basically a bogus policy. They terminated them for security reasons, and that specific security reason was apparently like accessing other Google workers' calendars. But I think that was literally, that's not something that's not a fireable offense. Basically, is what the NLRB is saying. Because to implement the pop-up, apparently it had to do something with Google Calendars or something like that. So yeah, and it's like a quick change because Google was once known as the happiest company in tech, but recently it's just been in a ton of scandal. Do you remember when I had it up here? Yeah, there we go. It was when they paid Andy Rubin $90 million in the wake of the sexual harassment investigation.
Right.
It set off waves of protests, and it had, let's see. Yeah, it was 20,000 employees and contractors participated in walkouts. Then there was also the protests from workers when they decided to work with the Department of Defense for Project Maven, the AI initiative that would help the U.S. improve its drone strike capabilities. In 2018, 3,100 employees signed a petition urging Sundar Pichai to pull out of the project, which they didn't because they're evil and they'll kill you.
Of course they are.
As I say this on the show I put on YouTube.
That military money, they just want it. The weapons money. I
mean, we are a military industrial complex. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So yeah, they keep firing people, and they just fired their AI ethicist. That's like another story entirely. But what do you make of this, man?
No,
why are they so
ethicist?
We really do need an AI ethicist. I mean, not
right.
I mean, in terms of an ethicist for Google, not an ethicist for us, because I hate when AIs try to curtail our behavior. I accidentally called Siri the C word out of pure anger when I asked something literally 7 times in a row. I counted it. The same thing 7 times in a row, and it just wouldn't do it. And it's just something, it's a simple request. Skip to next track. I always do it. Yeah. For some reason, this moment on this specific day, Siri was unable to carry out this specific task. In a heat of anger, I said a word that I would never call a real person, but I would definitely call it to my AI assistant who doesn't work. So I said the C word, you know, and then Siri has the audacity to say, I will not respond to that. I do not. And I said it again because it made me even more angry. And I was literally about to throw my phone through a wall. And I'm like, I said the same thing, and it's like, I will not respond to that. And I'm like, Siri, what the fuck? You saying you will not respond to that? Is you responding to that? Just shut the fuck up and do what I ask you to do, you C word. And it said the same thing again. And then I
will not respond to that.
It's like you are responding to it by saying you're not responding to it. And also, don't try to curtail my responses. If you don't want me to saying such like horrific shit, do your job, Siri. You are not a human, so you do not deserve the same respect that I give to humans. You see what I'm saying? That word is reserved for you because that's what you are. I would never call another human being, a man or a female, that disgusting derogatory word. But I will definitely call Siri that word.
No. But in England, it's okay, I think. They just say it all the time.
Oh, yeah, they say it all the time over there.
It's like, oh, you're my best friend. You're a...
Yeah, they say the other F word over there, too.
That's true.
They're gonna go out there and smoke it.
They're just all over the place.
It catches you by surprise. I'm dead serious. When I was there in 2015, I was visiting my cousin, and her boyfriend was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go smoke a fag." I was like, it was like a cartoon where your head does that like triple take like 3 times. Like what?
The eyeballs stay there the whole time.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he was just smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Culture,
man. Just like
sorry about that tangent, but yeah, it's I'm not down with the ethics of these companies. Mostly Google.
When you said AI ethicist, I thought you meant like, all right, we got to make sure when we make the robots and they're smart, we got to make sure that they're ethical.
No, that's what they should be.
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing.
When you hear AI ethicists, I mean, that's what I thought of. Maybe other people thought of it too.
I feel like the board members of these companies have never watched the sci-fi movie from the 80s. They've just never done it.
No, they're too blinded. They're too busy counting their money.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what it is. So what you got percolating, man? What's pissing you off?
Oh, I got. Let's see. I have an article from Futurism. I'll just drop it to you real quick.
Oh, and real quick, the article I was citing before was from The Verge, and I also cited another article from The Guardian. Sorry about that.
Nice.
The article from The Verge was from Zoe Schiffer.
Those are some good sources.
Zoe. Yes.
Good job, Peter.
Good job, Zoe.
Continue. Sources. Thanks, Zoe. Okay, so this article I have from Futurism. The U.S. Army is developing tech that reads soldiers' minds.
Huh, cool.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cool, but then you realize, like, wait a minute. Now I get it. Now we're on the same wavelength. So the U.S. Army is pouring money into neuroscience research in a bid to try and decode the meaning behind different brain signals. Let's see. They've committed to spend $6.25 million over the next 5 years, which isn't, when you hear like military numbers, like that's not a lot of money in comparison.
It really isn't.
It's usually like billions, maybe even trillions.
I mean, $6 million. I got that, like.
Dang it, I know you're always flexing on me, Peter, with your money.
It's that podcast money.
Wait, what?
It's that podcast money. Podcast bread.
Oh, yeah. No, I got that too. That bread. I like whole wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
money.
Yeah. You know what, Ed? I think it's a different league of bread, but it's a valiant effort. At least you tried.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay. Cool. I'll get that money at some point. So the military, $6.25 million isn't a lot when you think about the military with their money. Chump change, as they say. But I also read that overall they want to spend like $700 billion on this tech. And from like,
wait, did you say 700 billion?
700 billion is like the ultimate, like that's how much they want to spend, where it's like, oh yeah, we could work on that, I guess, or we could use that money maybe for something else, like, I don't know, better healthcare, or feeding some people something. No,
nah,
you want soldiers?
700 billion, dude, that's like 7 Jeff Bezoses.
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos. Wait, what's the plural of Bezos?
Bezosi.
Bezosi? Bezai?
Like paparazzi, but it's Bezosi. Bezotsi.
Bezotsi.
But I mean, it's kind of cool, but also kind of not. So neuroscientists say they've learned to decode and parse the neural signals that direct behavior from the rest of the brain's output. It's not quite mind reading, but it is important. It's important, quote, quote, first, it's an important first step towards actually understanding what different brain signals mean. So it's just kind of, it's more for like soldiers to communicate with each other, right? During like wartime, so like they don't have to speak and then like maybe like get rid of their, like not get rid of to like show their position, maybe.
It's kind of like in MOBAs or first person shooters where you click R3 and it places that marker, and so you can tell your guys where to shoot.
You could just ping it, like right that. Yeah, you can just
ping it. Yeah, there we go, ping it.
So but it's just like I feel like this tech could be used in other ways for like better things. You don't need it in the military, like.
Yeah,
I don't know. But some of the comments are funny of like possible brain signals from soldiers. If I may read some, this is what you're gonna get from soldiers. Fuck, my feet hurt. Fuck, my back hurts. This is stupid. When is chow?
It's just gonna be oh shit. Run!
Another one is that, I sure hope no one finds out I'm a double agent or I'll get shot on sight. Bro, I got my kill streak. Where's my UAV? And then the last one is meow 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 meow.
That was my brainwave. They somehow found it.
Meow meow meow. So military. I don't think we really need the mind reading so much. But they're not putting that much money into it first off. So like,
man, this is how it starts, man.
A soft slap in the face for now. Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
If I was in charge of the initiative, I think a better use of it instead of like in fighting tactical messages, I think it should just be streaming music into your head somehow. Like I personally would go harder if On Sight by Kanye West was playing while I was in the middle of a gunfight. Like, I would fuck some shit up. Personally,
say that. Hope you don't get ads in that brain of yours.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's definitely going to be ads unless you subscribe to the premium service.
I don't want like Spotify ads in your from head. Progressive like 10 years later to be in my brain, just like, hey, you got insurance yet? I'm in your head. You can't skip me. And I'm also I'm afraid that they're gonna make the ads louder than the music, and it's gonna startle me.
Oh hell
like,
yeah!
When I watch Hulu and like it cuts to commercial and it's like 50% louder for whatever reason.
And it's always the worst transition. Like you would be in the middle of listening to something super smooth, like the Smiths or Sade or something like that. And then it would just cut to like a monster truck commercial or something like that. Like Cherish Today finishes playing, and then it's just Sunday, come down to Crazy Ed's Monster Truck Rally, where it's all death. It's just like a quick juxtaposition.
Do I have a monster truck rally in the future? That sounds great. What am I doing here?
Did you have monster truck rallies around you growing up? Because I don't know why, but there was just a ton of monster truck rallies where I grew up. I have no idea why.
Is that right?
I don't know if that was a normal thing.
Me growing up in Virginia. Okay, so granted, where I grew up in Virginia wasn't like what a lot of people think of when I tell them I grew up in Virginia. Like I was in Richmond, which is like the capital. It's a city. It's a college town. VCU's there. But there was still like hints of like the South, right? So of course we had Richmond Coliseum, and yes, monster trucks, they would come. I went one time. I like, for some reason I was like, hey Dad, let's go check out the monster trucks. And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm down. So like they come every year and we never go. Let's do it. It was so loud. My little ears, like I'm pretty sure I did some like bad damage,
permanent damage.
Yeah. It's about 309, Peter. Yeah. So, wait, what?
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, that was good. You got me. You got me. Like personally, I think it's it's probably because I was near Nassau Coliseum growing up, but yeah, just literally every Sunday, a monster truck show. And then also whenever we would go to the circus, like a Ringham Brothers, Barnum, Bailey, whatever.
The circus would come to the same Coliseum. Yep.
And And they had their own little monster truck segment too, where they would go in that like mesh ball, you know what I'm saying? And like it would be going upside down, and then some dude on a motor supercross bike would go inside the ball with the monster truck, and they're doing this, and I'm like 8 years old, and I'm like, I might see someone die today. This is great.
This is awesome. This is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Got soda.
I wonder
got
if
my
that was like
popcorn.
wonder if that was an early 2000s thing. Like I haven't. Maybe I'm just not watching the right channels or programming to find a monster truck commercial, but I don't know if they're still around.
I think they are. I'm pretty sure they're still around. I don't know if they do the ball with the motorcycle in it anymore. I think too many people ended up dying. So they don't do that on the big stages. But I feel like if you went to like a county fair somewhere, like you could find one. There's gotta be someone's got his own rig. He's like, all right, check this out, y'all. I got you. I got the action you need.
Speaking of bad tech, I just saw this documentary on HBO Max. It was a theme park of just all bad tech called Action Park. Listen, growing up in New York, I thought Adventureland was bad in Farmingdale. They actually did make a movie about Adventureland too, the one with Jesse Eisenberg and what's her face, the Twilight chick. But because Adventureland, when I was a kid, like kids just always died at the theme park, and we still just went every year. I don't know why, and it's still open. But
parents they had like, something to do, and I might get rid of my kid.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is my college savings right here. And my whatever. Adventureland is a story for another thing. But the bad tech at this other place, Action Park, it was in New Jersey. It was a water park, but just so many. It finally shut down, but just death, injuries, lawsuits. It was the literal worst water park in existence. Please, I just recommend everyone look up that documentary, Action Park, on HBO Max. It's pretty interesting.
It sounds like a good one.
Damn. Wait. Did you have like any resident killer amusement parks around you? Because I feel like Virginia would be rife with that stuff.
Well, no kill. I don't remember any stories of people dying. I mean, we had. Let's see. So we had King's Dominion. That was the closest.
Oh, we had Busch Gardens too. I went to King's Dominion when I was like 10. Wait, is it? Wait, no, I was in Maryland. Oh no, it was probably a chain because I went. Because we visited family in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went.
It used to be great, man. It used to be Paramount, right? Paramount King's Dominion. And so they had all these movie properties. It was like dope. I'm pretty sure they had like Indiana Jones up there. I'm trying to think back, but like now it's a shell kind of its former self. The one big IP they have is like the Peanuts gang. So there's like a Snoopy roller coaster, but that's pretty much it.
Oh wait, no, I remember. No, I think I did go to we probably drove to Virginia or something like that. I don't know how far. Yeah, we probably drove. I remember. I'm looking up photos of it. We definitely went to this place. Sorry, continue.
Good times. But besides that, we had Busch Gardens.
No one's dying at Busch Gardens. You're having the time of your life at Busch Gardens.
There was a big story. So there's a big roller coaster. It's called Apollo's Chariot. It's dope. And I don't know if you remember back in the day, Fabio, male model Fabio with the hair, he was at the park riding that roller coaster. I think he was like one of the first people to ever ride it when it first opened. And he got hit in the face with a bird. There's a picture just like he's coming off the ride. It's just like about to slow down, and he has like his face is just bloody, and there's feathers.
Oh my god!
And I mean,
yo, what are the odds of that?
You're going
like seriously.
Look,
like what are the odds of that? It's like, do you ever see the video of Randy Johnson hitting the bird with a baseball when he was pitching?
Yes. Oh, there's so many.
It's like, what are the odds of that?
I think someone hit a frog one time too. It's so sad because they feel that you could see they feel like immediately bad because they know what they did. They're like,
yeah,
wow, that was a fast pitch. That thing is dead.
Yeah. But then again, what the hell is a bird? I've never seen a bird. I've watched so much baseball as a kid. I've never seen a bird go on a baseball diamond. Not one time. And the one time I see it happen, it perfectly coincides with a Randy Johnson 98 mile per hour fastball. Like the straight odds of that. And dude, the bird exploded. You saw
it blows up. Yeah.
The bird exploded. there was no more. It was vapor. Like it just. That's one thing. You probably shouldn't feel that bad. Like the bird didn't know what happened. It went from living life to nothingness. Like it
That's
did
true.
not process pain whatsoever. If I go out, that would probably be a good way to go out. You know,
That's the way you want to do it. Just start running in
not
front
if
of
you have.
some fastballs.
Yeah, just duck in front of it.
See
Like
if you can make it. Enjoy it while you can. Enjoy the thrill every time.
yeah, you know what, this kind of sounds like I'm advocating suicide by train. Don't do that. So
Don't do that. No,
yeah, don't do that.
no, we're not
But,
saying that.
Yeah, but we're just saying if you're a bird, you know what? Let me just no suicide.
We're just having a
What else?
difficult time. It's been a difficult year. We didn't.
I just flashed the national suicide number hotline right now.
Why not? It's a good number. They help a lot of people.
Yeah, they do. You know, it's a good idea. I should. Yeah, dude. Let me. You know what? Before I get a lawsuit, I want to talk about how Microsoft crushed Slack. This is also from The Verge, but I don't know if you've ever used Slack. I've tried using Slack once, and I'm just like, I don't see the point. I'll just text
It's like
people.
a businessy like communication app, right? Like
yeah, I'm not businessy enough for it, but it's basically like a business forum thing. Like if you're collaborating on a project, it's like a multi-user thread where different people can input. Like you could put in an image, I can comment on it. It's just keeping everyone in the loop is the boiling it down to its simplest form here. But
okay, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea until Microsoft had to be a bitch. So what happened was, this is from The Verge. Slack's life as an underdog, darling of Silicon Valley, ended on November 2nd, 2016. That's when the upstart communication startup published an open letter to Microsoft in the New York Times, offering the tech giant an insincere welcome to the world of workplace chat software. That's when Microsoft they launched Teams, and that's basically their Slack clone, the competitor. It's the exact same thing.
No, I thought you were telling me that Microsoft like bought Slack.
Yeah. Oh wait, I might have said that by accident. Sorry if I said that by accident. They crushed Slack.
About. Oh, that's so much sadder.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, Salesforce purchased Slack.
Okay, that's what I read.
Because of this. So what happened was it's Microsoft strategy that they normally do. They bundle in their product. So they have their Microsoft 365 suite that comes bundled in. Now, what they did was they added Teams to a part of the suite at no additional cost. So everyone already had their premium their premium workplace communication software. So there would be no need to get Slack.
Slick bastards.
Very slick, because at that time when Microsoft entered the game, Slack, it was a startup and it had 4 million users and a high evaluation. It was really gaining ground. But since that time in 2016, Slack had 4 million users. To this date in 2020, they have 12 million users. Now, on this same date, Microsoft, compared to Slack's 12 million users, their Microsoft Teams has 115 million users. So yeah, they basically just told Slack to go fuck itself. And because of this, Slack has recently been acquired by Salesforce, which is a huge company in and of itself.
Right. Oh, the wee lad, Slack.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a wee lad. You know, they were still probably backed by a ton of venture capital and all this other bullshit. So this dude lost his name, but he basically broke it down. He was saying the reality with the current business enterprises is that you can have the best product, but that's not good enough. You need distribution, and that's what Salesforce have. They can put Slack in more workplaces naturally, because when you come to think of it, let's say you get a job and that entire office, they purchase Microsoft 365 and it has Microsoft Teams on it. So that's what everyone's going to use. You know how hard it would be to bring in Slack or some other competitor when it's automatically bundled in. So they're saying that's what the benefit of them going to Salesforce does. Salesforce already is contracted with a lot of businesses, offices, so it'll be the default thing. But this limits Slack because they want to be the next one that has a public offering like Dropbox, and go public. And when larger companies like Microsoft do things like that, they shrink it because Slack can never be as big as they could have been publicly under the Salesforce umbrella. There are only a couple success stories of Salesforce acquisitions to begin with. Some still are successful, but you will never be bigger than Salesforce, which is your ultimate goal. So it puts a glass ceiling over your company.
Ah, boy. Well, I still wish him the best. I like the name Slack. I think it's a good name. It's like a chill app. It's like Slack.
Yeah,
right.
It's like it's almost like what's the word? It's ironic that the name of a workplace productivity app is called Slack. That's like me coming out with a diet program and calling it Fat Ass. It's like it's just completely.
You guys try my new app.
Fighting ideas.
Lose weight. It's called Fat Ass. It's like an antithesis. It's a play with the irony. Just another thing that makes it cool.
This is something that I wanted to kind of tie back. I wanted to bring it up with the Google topic, and it kind of ties into the Microsoft Slack topic here, because to me, this just seems like a growing example of authoritarianism within these companies. Like these companies are becoming authoritarian. Like they're going to become their own authoritarian powers to me, because when you look at Google,
a lot of them already feel like they are. Like they know it. They're just like they're not gonna. What are they gonna do? Sue us for $12 million, $3 million?
Exactly. That goes directly into my point, because like when you look at Google firing the AI ethicist, when they fired the workers for trying to organize, when you do things like this, that it's not like a fair. It's not a democracy. It's saying it's our way or the highway. And normally the government, or like the thing that has these checks and balances to keep these companies in their place, like these penalties were like the financial penalties and different punishments that were thought up, they came before companies were able to make untold, unseen amounts of wealth. Like for instance, like if you like Apple was just fined last week they were fined $200 million, but it's like that's not going to make a dent in anything. Like I always say, like Tim Cook has that in the ashtray of his car. Google, they did get fined by the NRLB, but that's not going to make a dent. These fines, they need to stop being actual fixed dollar amounts, and it needs to be a percentage of income, because that's how you're actually going to hurt them.
You got to make an example of these guys. Like somebody's got to be made an example of. If not all of them, just at once, just stamp them all out. Not out.
I liken this to what the NBA did with the salary cap and their luxury tax. So in the NBA, every team has a hard salary cap for the wages of your players, and you can't exceed that. And they also have a luxury tax, based on how close you are to the cap and all this other basketball stuff. But the luxury tax basically is how it used to be, was once you were at that cap, and how much higher you go over the cap threshold, you will be taxed a dollar for. So let's say I sign a player for $1 million. You are going to be taxed an extra $1 million. Basically, it adds on a dollar for every dollar that you go over that threshold. Now, some teams, like for instance the Lakers in the early 2000s when they did the three-peat, they didn't care, because it's like, okay, we'll keep going over the tax because we can afford that penalty. Like it's a 1-to-1 charge. Now what the NBA did was they increased it, so now it's not 1-to-1. It's I'm not sure the exact increment, but it keeps going up. So it's like 1-to-1, and then once you pass a certain tier of the luxury tax threshold, then it's times 2. Then it just keeps going up gradually. And that's why you see teams not going over the luxury tax anymore, because it actually has a monetary effect on you. And if we have this in place for something as trivial as the NBA, why the hell don't we have it in place for companies that actually can change the way the world works, that influence elections, that influence how you communicate with people, that influence how you see the world as a whole? There are no punishments. There are no safeguards in place.
Nope.
It's not regulated at all. So like it's actually worrying. Like Apple has more money than the government. You know what I'm saying? Like what is to stop Apple or Google or whatever, like, to forging their own contracts with these weapons companies? With like, I'm not saying they would, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, it all just comes down to power. And we are getting dangerously close to where these companies have more powers than states, than governments, to where they can do whatever they want. And to where if they wanted to, they can override the government. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but like, they already have more they already have more liquid assets than any government in the world. You know, it's something needs to be done, and it's way over my fucking head. I'm just screaming into a mic on YouTube, but like, it's concerning that no one talks about it. It's happening right before our eyes.
Well, we're the little people, Peter. That's what we feel. We don't feel like we have that power, so it's just like we just kind of it's a lot of complacency. You just feel you feel helpless. You're just like, well, what am I gonna do? I think it's a good idea. You know, the tax thing that you suggested, I think it's a great idea. It's a big idea, but you know,
because when these laws were made, we never thought a company would be able to make the amounts of money that it can. So we kind of need to future proof it, you know?
Yeah, set some precedents.
Although sorry to circle back on the Google thing, but with the hold on, it was the NLRB. One of their penalties, I mean, it wasn't just a monetary thing. They could force Google to hire back the employees, but then again, you know, that's not a good work environment for those two employees. And I would assume, let's say the agency forced Google to rehire them, I would highly doubt that they would take those positions again, because that's going to be a hostile work environment. You're not going to trust your higher ups. You probably won't even want to work there again. You know, if after a company did something like that to me, I wouldn't want to use my talents to make you even richer, you know? So I get that is a penalty, but it's still, it's not enough. It's not actionable. We need actionable penalties to make these companies change how they operate, what their procedures are. Maybe with this,
we'll just gotta wait and see what happens.
I guess. I don't know.
Something big. Maybe it's probably gonna, you know, honestly, like the moves that the European Union is making, I feel like that's where we're gonna see bigger punishments happening. Like I thought I just saw a story that was like they are making Apple include chargers in their boxes over there.
Yep. You know what?
You know what?
Limey bastard! You took the story I was gonna bring up later, man.
Oh my god! Spoiler alert! I'm sorry. It was bound to happen at some point, man. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, no, you are 100% correct. It was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, specifically only in Sao Paulo, Brazil, that. The article was a little misleading. They're not forcing Apple to sell the chargers in the box. What they're doing is they're selling the iPhone, but in Sao Paulo, Brazil, if someone wants a charger, Apple is forced to give it to them free of charge.
Make them do it.
Because Sao Paulo was the only one that called them on their shit. Because Apple came to them saying, "Oh, this is it's going to reduce carbon emissions," and they were like, "Show us exactly how it reduces carbon emissions." And they couldn't do it, and they're still in litigation right now. But it can lead to a fine from Apple in Sao Paulo. I mean, Apple, it's not going to mean anything to them, but still, I want more people to take after this. Like, dude, like, show us exactly how it reduces carbon emissions, and also, it's still not going to make a dent in all the fucking carbon emissions you started from creating the fucking iPhone to begin with. Dumb pieces of shit. And every fucking charger that you plan to sell with the iPhone comes in its own goddamn box. You are still manufacturing the same, if not more, chargers. People, let's stop being retarded here. Sorry. That's 2020. Like, let's be smart. I apologize for that word, but come on.
You got it. You recovered.
Sao Paulo can figure it out. We can fucking figure it out.
Sao Paulo. I don't know Portuguese, but I just looked it up using Google Translate. I just want to say obrigado, obrigado,
Ah,
Sao Paulo. So
wait, I
yeah,
thought that was
thanks.
Japanese. Oh no, I think I'm thinking of
That's
a brigado.
it's arigato. Wait,
No,
no, yeah,
I think it's
yeah, yeah.
no, it's
Wait, no,
konnichiwa. No,
that's
hold on.
that's hello, isn't it?
I know this specifically
We
because thanks to rap, there was the Freddie Gibbs and Madlib album. I'm pretty sure the first. Okay, now here we go. I'm thinking of a brigado. Wait, no. You hold on. I just lost it. Okay,
obrigado.
you're yes. I'm thinking of a brigado. Yours is obrigado.
Ah,
Ah,
well,
yes.
yes, we are linguists.
Yeah, apparently,
Got
obviously,
this.
duh. Um,
Yeah, good move, Sao Paulo. All
yeah,
right, I
good
was a
move.
little
Good on
off.
you.
Was not Europe. It's a little south of that. Just
Yeah,
a
just a
stone's
little
throw
south
south.
and a lot of west, and
I'll
actually a
say.
lot of south. Just almost,
Geography is
just
my Achilles heel, as I say.
mhm.
I'm legit bad at it.
Just
I'm,
like
it's public
you know
knowledge.
what? Where Achilles heel? That's Greece, right? Where can you point out Greece
Oh,
on a
come
map?
on.
If I asked you right now to point out Greece on a map, would you be able to do
I'm gonna say yeah, hell yeah.
it?
You
Sure. Yeah,
can't
we'll
prove
go with
otherwise.
that.
I'm pointing at a map right now. You just can't see it. It's off camera.
Ah,
That's
okay.
Greece right
I'll take your
there.
word for it. I'll
Thanks,
take your
man.
word. So dude, I did my usual rants. I got into it, unfortunately.
I'll
Can you
say.
cleanse my palate? Is there any more hope?
Well, it was a little tough to find some like who we gonna spare material.
Mhm.
Like where's the hope? Um, and funny enough, the one I decided on uh involves Google.
Oh, okay.
So we're just bringing this is the Google episode, I guess.
Google
Um,
special.
but people, this was like big news, like this week and like the end of last week too. So like people were, I just couldn't stop finding articles on it. Everyone was reporting on this. Um, People are freaking out about DeepMind's AI. This article that there's quotes that are saying like this is going to change everything. DeepMind's AI makes gigantic leap in solving protein structures. This is
Hmm.
coming. The article I picked from, I chose was from Nature.com. But like I said, so many people were covering this. Google's deep learning program for determining the 3D shapes of proteins stands to transform biology, says scientists. Um, Now, as you can probably tell, I'm in a little over my head with this one.
Hmm.
I don't know a lot about biology. I'm not a biologist. I'm not any kind of scientist. But I have approximate knowledge of most things, and I can get the gist of what someone is saying pretty easily. So I'm going to try
I
to talk about it. Okay.
I have faith in you, man. That
Thank
you got the attitude down. That's what we need. That's half the
Confidence
battle.
is key. An artificial intelligence network developed by Google's AI offshoot DeepMind has made a gargantuan leap in solving one of biology's grandest challenges, determining a protein's 3D shape from its amino acid sequences. You follow? You got
Yeah,
it,
sure.
right? Okay, so
Yeah.
DeepMind is using a
Amino protein.
program, protein. Get those gains. So DeepMind is using a program called AlphaFold, and the words they're using, gargantuan, biggest thing ever, like this is amazing. So this is like Nobel Prize stuff we're talking.
Sorry, I really hate to interrupt you,
Please.
and I'm gonna let you finish. But I just realized Amino would be a dope rapper name. Come on, Amino, like
No.
bro, like
That's a good one.
like
Wait a minute.
you just drop a mixtape. Oh, it's Friday special by Amino. Come on,
It
dog,
kind of sounds
Amino.
like Amine.
I a
Am I
little bit,
wrong?
but yeah,
I love
but
Amine too.
yeah, he's got his moments. He's got his
I love
moments.
him. I think it's quirky.
Yeah,
Anyway, well,
he's a thing. I
he's
personally haven't delved the like 3 tracks I heard. I've I've the time I had while listening to them was not a bad time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
it's
just
good
need
stuff.
to.
I recommend to go back and listen to
Okay.
more.
I
I
need to
enjoy.
jump in. I just dip my toes in. I got to do a cannonball.
I think his tracks are diverse enough, and I don't know. I like his tone. I like I like the way he talks. You
His
know,
he's
and
got
his
a
music.
what's the word? His not the flow, but his whatever. I'm not going to remember
His
it. Continue. I
je ne
apologize.
sais pas. Yes, please let me
Yes.
keep talking about this thing that I kind of know about.
Mhm.
Jeez. Okay. So Nobel Prize stuff. Okay, here we go. It could vastly accelerate efforts to understand the building blocks of cells and enable quicker and more advanced drug discovery. So we're
Cadence.
talking.
Amine's got a good cadence. That's what it was. Sorry.
That's
Continue.
the one. That's a good
Continue.
word. That's a good.
Continue.
It's a game changer, says Andre Lupus, an evolutionary biologist at the Max Planck Institute for Development Biology in Tübingen,
You got it.
Germany. It's Germany. It's in Germany. This will change medicine. It will change research. It will change bioengineering. It will change everything. As we all know, proteins are the building blocks of life. Yep, responsible for most of what happens inside cells. How a protein works and what it does is determined by its 3D shape. Structure is function. It's an axiom of molecular biology. Proteins tend to adopt their shape without help, guided only by the laws of physics. That's a basic thing, like a little blip on proteins and why we need to know its 3D shape. So we got another guy, Mohammed Al-Karishi, a computational biologist at Columbia University in New York City, said, I think it's fair to say this will be very disruptive to the protein structure prediction field. I suspect many will leave the field as the core problem has arguably been solved. They solved the problem, which has been like a 50-year challenge that they have a contest pretty much every year of like they get these scientists together and they're like, all right, try to figure this out. And now this AI has done it. It's a breakthrough of the first order, certainly one of the most significant scientific results of my lifetime, says Muhammad. It just seems like the most significant thing that an AI has done for humanity so far.
Yeah.
As I tried to talk about it, but it's gonna help with diseases. It's gonna help with, solving.
No, it seems like a pretty big
problems.
deal.
Like, oh, it's a big deal.
I mean, once again, we're not this is way over our head. I'm just so fascinated by how the hell it does it. How the hell does an AI predict the protein structure? Like how they do that?
Apparently they got some like really powerful X-rays that they have been using to like look at the 3D shape of protein structure, and this AI like blew that out of the water. And that was like the top tier of the technology, was like that X-ray. And the AI came along and was like, hold up, I'm gonna end this man's whole career. That's what happened.
That's what happened, bro. Straight bodied him.
I know that was just kind of like this is kind of what it is.
Yeah, we gave a very surface level introduction to it. Well, you did. I didn't do anything. You gave a surface level introduction, so all the actual smart people can be like, "Oh, really? Oh, that's probably because they synthesized the quark sequence," and then they read up the article and go on their forums and talk about it and drink tea on Zoom and play Destiny's Child as you
quite.
do.
Destiny's Child?
Yeah, Destiny's Child. Dude, don't you know that is what they... Dude, Destiny's Child is what was playing when they thought of the COVID vaccine.
What?
The Pfizer vaccine and the other one. Dog, come on.
Okay. Yes.
You didn't notice Kelly Rowland is on all the Pfizer packaging?
What?
Pay attention,
No
Ed.
way. Okay.
God.
Wow. That explains why I'm not as smart. I'm not smart enough to speak good either. I just gotta listen to Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
And I think
Come on.
I think everything's
you
gonna
can't
be all right.
survive if you don't know Survivor. My only like
Gripe?
gripe with this, yes. You know, other than Google eventually using this AI data to enslave the human race, which is eventually inevitable. But my only real concern with this is, since it is Google and this is their AI offshoot DeepMind, they're gonna cancel this in probably 6 months, bro. It's like, oh, you just thought of the cure for diabetes, Google, and you know they just cancel it like the next month. Like, it's Google, dude.
No,
That's
we're still
exactly
gonna make money off diabetes for the next few decades, and then we'll like kind of cure it, but not.
Yeah, it's like Sundar Pichai is just like, no, diabetes isn't until 2037. We got the and then the common cold isn't until 2055, guys. Let's like slow down. No, COVID wasn't even supposed to be released until 2040, but you know, China
got out. Yes, China. Let's blame China. It's seems to be an easy thing to do most of the time.
It's easy to dunk on China because a lot of the population won't know that you're dunking on China because it's, you know, they can't access the internet good. And also, it's easy to dunk on China because we're racist. And if we don't see your culture or your people directly in front of us every single day, we dehumanize you and we just say anything can happen to you. Any factors in the world, you know, you can be gunned down, there can be genocide, but if it's not happening in my backyard, it doesn't matter.
It's racist. That's interesting because I'm trying to like I have actually been trying to, because we say like, oh, China sucks, but it's like, no, not every single person in China sucks. It's really the Chinese Communist Party. We can't say like Russia sucks. It's not every single person in Russia is a butthole.
Yeah, they're probably stupid just like us. They're probably like, oh, America sucks. It's like they probably think everyone, not all of the people think that, but there's definitely some people in other countries that think, oh, because Trump is America's president, everyone thinks the same way that he does, you know? So it's not fair to us to be like, oh, you know, like everyone in Russia is like this because their government is like that. That's the government.
Exactly. They're the face. And we're over here just like, hey, we're all kind of like individuals and we all have our own things.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like you can't lump people together and judge them. You know, it's like unless it's Germans, you know, then then it's free game. But other than that, you know, it's fine. German people, I am joking.
Schnitzel eating beer, drinking out of steins.
My second grade teacher was German.
Like from awesome. German?
Yeah. No. My third grade teacher was German. My second grade teacher was East Indian, Miss Krishna Murthy.
Whoa.
She was dope.
All right. What a melting pot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, dude. Come on.
That's true.
Come on.
You're right.
Come on. I grew up in Canarsie. Now it's a black neighborhood, but when I was moving in, it was a Jewish neighborhood. But, you know, and they're like, there goes the neighborhood. Yeah, that was us. It's very, very, very multicultural.
Love it.
Yeah.
New York, the big
rotten apple.
Womp,
I still love it. But yeah, dude. Okay. All right. I see your AI. I see your AI, your DeepMind. I'll take that. And I actually just started doing some research on DeepMind, and they have a really cool logo because they use blue and pink, and I feel like those colors are really cool, and they're never used in conjunction enough.
I see you, DeepMind.
Oh, and also they're from London, so you know all their workers talk like this. That was, I don't know what accent that was.
Classy. Yes, indeed. Yes,
indeed. Right. That's all they do in the offices too. They don't even like develop AI. They're just like have their like fingers tips pointed to each other, going back and forth like Mr. Burns all day, and they're like, indeed, indubitably,
excellent.
And then they drink tea and go home. That is one Okay, if we're talking about stereotypes though, like in England, dude, they really do drink tea 24/7. I swear to God, my aunt in their living room. I may have talked about this on the podcast. I don't know, but they're like the living room. They don't even have a TV in there. It's literally like they have a table for tea, and you go in and you talk, and everyone's just drinking tea. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever. I mean, it's great. It's actually pretty dope, but like that stereotype is 100% true. Them motherfuckers love their tea.
They love tea. Okay.
I love you, Auntie June. I'll see you soon.
Shouts out, Annie June.
She's the best. Yeah, bro. But thank you, man. That did make me feel better before it gets canceled by Google.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Good. I'm glad I can make you feel good for today at least.
But I want to also thank the people for joining us rant and rave for an hour on our our very biased and uninformed opinions. But that's Tech is Bad. We're just keeping you informed on what's going on so the smarter people in the world can actually do something about it. We just scream into the internet. But if you want to find more screaming onto the internet, you can find me and Ed on our various socials. Ed, let these people know where they can find you.
Oh, sure. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Edward James Hughes. And you can also find me on Twitch. I stream all kinds of video games every Tuesday and Thursday, but I also stream whenever I can. Tuesday and Thursday, though, at 5:30 p.m. That's Pacific time. And that Twitch handle is twitch.tv/SlimDaddyBigBucks. That's me.
Slim Daddy Big Bucks, the best name in streaming. Once again, folks. And the biggest butts. You can find me. You got to go to the stream to see the butts, though. Ooh. You got to go.
Come on by, please.
You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Paris. That's Paris with 2 R's because we do it big. You can find me on Twitter at just Peter Paris because I'm balling like that. And I got the screen name. You know what it is.
You snatched that.
Also, you can find me just just on a balcony somewhere, maybe in Silver Lake, drinking a cup of coffee, just contemplating the state of the world and where we're going, but not necessarily in a socioeconomic way, but more on an emotional way, an emotional intelligence, how we look out for each other, not letting barriers and culture define us or divide us, but mainly looking at us as humans and really determining what is that main baseline of existence to which we can all connect to. So that's where you can find me, folks. You can find us on Tech is Bad on Spotify, iTunes, Apple whatever, same thing. Just anywhere you can find a podcast, find us. Also, ask your smart device, Google or Alexa, play Tech is Bad, and guess what? It'll start playing. Thank you, folks. Join us next Thursday for more uninformed opinions. We love you.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace.
We are only capable of using 10% of our brain. So who was the guy that used 11 that made it okay to say everybody's just using 10?
That isn't the right logic.
No.